Hi, I'm Simon Cooper from the Cooper Strip Club, and I'm coming to you today from the Earnscleugh Castle, which is in Central Otago in the South Island of New Zealand. It's a pretty magnificent building, and Cooper's stripper is being used for all the woodwork, all the windows and the doors. And I'm here to do a demonstration on one of the windows, so we'll see you in there. So I'm going to put my stripper on. The first thing we're going to do is take off what's on the surface. Move your hand as you spray, so you never go puff, 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 because what happens is you get run. So you're always moving your hand as you spray. That's the first trick. So the stripper's on there, you can see it quickly acts, but it's probably going to be more paint behind that. If we take that bubble off, there'll be probably paint still there. And so as the stripper goes in, our stripper is very thin. Normal strippers are quite thick gels. This is very thin, and so it absorbs quickly in. And we're probably going to talk 5-10 minutes before we take things off, but we'll find out shortly. Okay, that's really good. And you're not pushing hard. You're slightly dragging it off. And it doesn't matter if we don't get everything off first time around, because we'll be putting more stripper on. So I'm just putting a bit of pressure where I want it to be. Find if I haven't got a handle on it, I've got just more control.
God, this is going to make a huge difference.
So I'm using the extensions on the blade there, these bits that jut out. They're brilliant for all there. So at this point I'll put more stripper on. It's not bad for round one. Now a very interesting, super important tool is the teaspoon. So you've got these shapes, and so you just twist it around to get the approximate shape. So the idea, if it doesn't rip your mouth apart, it won't do the same to the wood here. This is a cement board cutter. It's one of those things that if you're doing some cement board work around the house, you've got these two tungsten tips which are used to score it and snap it, but they're also very good used on here. So where you've got this piece of this beading here, this is actually a stacked up piece of wood. It's actually nailed on to this architrave. There's no way this architrave would be that thick, and they've wasted all that wood. They usually have a piece of wood here and a piece of wood there to make it have the impression of something really super thick. Now you don't push hard, but you just very lightly at this point where everything's nice and softening, you just run along and so you don't do things heavy-handed. And then I just spray into there, and it comes out of there really super easy later with our detail brushes. Now again, this architrave is nailed on there, so you don't go in that way, go this way. If you do this too early, the paint's still super hard. Like if I was doing it right from the start, it's going to be too much hard work in there, and also you're more likely to gouge into things. Where when I'm down to where I'm doing it, I can actually see what I'm up to. So now I'm going to grab a chunk of my steel wool. So the steel wool we have, it's a European wool. It's a very, very sharp fibre. It's not like wools that just crumble and fall apart. So you get it off the roll and give it a whirl. This is a ball of it. I'm just going to use a bit of it as a sacrifice at this point. It's going to get a bit clogged up. So again, I'm not worried about bits that are left over at this point. So you can grab the wool, open it up, remunch it up. Okay, so this has had a couple of more minutes with the stripper, and what we're doing here is we're stripping what's in the wood. When the very first coat of shellac went on, or paint, whatever it was, it soaked into the grain, and then all the other coats built up over time. So what we actually want to do is get that very first coat of whatever out of the wood. So I've got the stripper on. Now I've got one of my detail brushes. So this is a copper bristled detail brush. We've got three grades of brush. We've got a copper, a brass, and a stainless steel. And we use copper in this case because the wood is soft. These timbers, the cedar and the Oregons, etc., they're very soft, and we don't want to hit it with a coarse brush. So what we're doing here is just lightly massaging down those parts. You see how this architrave has been nailed on, so there's always a gap, which of course is when you're painting it where all the paint goes. So I've turned the brush around, so we're into these parts here, we're going long ways. When you're doing these other faces, turn the brush around, it's all good. Now while that's all nice and gooey, we get ourselves a rag. I like using old toweling. So you just break it up, and then we wipe it off. But here's a little trick. Most people go like that, and they scrub it. What you're going to do is wipe it and twist it as you go. And you get it off onto the rag. That's what you want. You want it on the rag, you don't want to push it back in. And so, that just, because we've done all that liquefying with, the stripper has dissolved everything, liquefied everything. Now we want to move it off onto the rag. So just twisting as I go, just moving the rag around. Old toweling's great. bring in my jar. So the brush is getting all gungy. So just wipe off the easy stuff and put the brush into the jar. This has got a bit of stripper in there, just covers the bristles. About 5 minutes in there, and I'll show you what it does later. So this is the brush I put in 5 minutes ago. So just a bit of wood, and you just amazing just how easy they are to clean. So you're just giving it that smack and it just falls straight out of the bristle, and then that's all good to go. So you're not pushing hard on the bristles. Just want to attempt to get a bit more out of behind the architrave. So I've got my steel wool, opened it up. And now in our putty knife, our broad knife, we've actually ground these little teeth out. It's these little tricks that make the difference. Last part of the game is the flushing, the rinsing, and this is where you use the blue one. So when you see our products, you've got the red one, the stripper. Now we've got the blue one, the flusher. And sometimes people think you don't need to do this, but you really, really do need to do this. This is the part that means no sanding. If you don't flush, you sand. So if you like sanding, then don't do this. And what we're going to do is we're going to rinse out of the wood the soft residues. And the best time to do this flushing is straight after the stripping, while everything's still soft. If you leave it till later, you're just going to use a lot more elbow grease and flusher. So, and what I've got here in my hand, this is this black grit embedded pad. And they come longer, but I've cut this down to about 1/3 of the size. And this has got a 180 grit abrasive embedded into it, which is why we call it a grit embedded pad. So we have these clever names. Now, this flusher, it's not spraying, so you get the bottle. Most phone calls we get is about triggers. So trigger doesn't spray. First thing you do, grab the bottle, don't squeeze it hard, just a teeny squeeze. And it goes. Just gets a bit of pressure into the bottle, into the trigger, and so into the hose, and up she goes. Now, what this is doing, this flusher is not a neutralizer. It's normal to think we're now neutralizing. You're not. You're rinsing the wood clean. You're rinsing the soft residues out of the grain. So we spray. Now we don't leave the flusher like you do the stripper. You spray and scrub straight away. And you keep spraying as you're going. And we've got the grit in the pad. It actually gets into the grain. We're not using it to remove wood. Sometimes people hear the fact that there's a grit in there and it must be that we're doing this covert sand. We're not. It's getting into the grain itself. Now, interesting thing here is the white filler in these nail holes. You'll see the white filler. And what that means is that this was actually painted from day one. If there was a clear finish on to start with, it would have had a coloured filler. And so this example is actually stripping paint out of the grain. This is, as if you're stripping straight varnish, it's always easier to do because there's less paint in the grain itself. So make sure I get myself a clean rag, and then again wipe and twist at the same time so you can see just how much goo comes away. So I like spraying and just keeping it wet, so one hand spraying and then scrubbing. Now the wet colour, the colour it is now, is the colour it'll be with a new finish. So I say the wet look is the finish look. So that's looking really smart. And then we'll just continue working our way around. So spray, scrub. So a question was, how do we deal with these holes? So this is what you do. I've got like just this pick, you got all sorts of things you can come out with, like a player's dart from the pub. So just pick away. Just be careful. I mean, every time I say be careful, that's when I slip. This is a wax filler stick. It's a coloured stick, and we use it with friction. Now we're in the winter at the moment, so this is as hard as, and what you would want to do, put this in your pocket, let your body warm it up. So this is one that's been used for a long, long time, and it's still going, hopefully the right colour, and we rub it vigorously over the hole, and the friction warms it and pushes it in. And then we grab, excuse me, a bit of our grip pad. And because it's flat, you just go straight over the top and bang, done. So that's flat, there's no dry time, and any finish can go over. You can put polyurethanes over that, anything you like, no drama. So that was too easy. But this is all done, this is all ready, and this is ready for any finish without you having to sand it. And that's the big thing. The flushing, rinse the wood clean, and meant there was no sanding to do. And the thing I haven't actually talked about is that under this old paint, there is actually a sanded surface. When this window was made, it was sanded. And all I've done is reused the old sanding. I've dissolved the paints with the red one, the stripper, and rinsed it clean with the blue one. And by doing that, I've reused the sanding that's there. And this is ready for any finish without you having to sand it. Lots and lots and lots of corners. But, you know, it's got to be done and it'll look absolutely amazing. I mean, this house is just phenomenal. So you work your way through this, you do it once, you do it right, and then that's it. So that's us for the day. So time for a wine. Catch you later.
Cooper's, the stripper that gets it off every time.